live, Mr. Chair.
Good morning. I would like to begin this session of the Board of Revision by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Mark Boreski. I'll be chairing this session of the Board of Revision. I am also the chair of the Board of Revision. And today with me on the panel are Gail Anderson here in person and Cynthia Stevens via Zoom. Our assessor today is Amanda Evans, and our secretary is Kara Balshaw. To the participants of the hearing, please note, you're placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you'll be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We'll be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We'll then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicants may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. So our first item on the docket today, following several that have been withdrawn, is 15 Kennedy Street, Unit 1509. Could I have the swearing in of the applicant and the assessor, please?
Madam Assessor, for the record, please state your name.
Amanda Evans.
And do you affirm the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Applicant, for the record, please state your name.
Michael Brouard.
Do you affirm any evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Evans, I understand that there is a recommendation that you're going to be making with respect to this one.
Yes.
And that recommendation has been accepted by the applicant. Is that
Yes.
correct? Could you read the item into the record, please, and then give us your recommendation?
Yes. This is for 1509 15 Kennedy Street, roll number 120928333600. The assessment value is 175, and I made a recommendation to lower it to 155.
And Mr. Applicant, that has been accepted by you, is that correct?
That is correct.
Is there any further information that either party wants to provide?
No, I don't.
All right. In that case, thank you very much. We will move on to our second item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Our second item is 147 Provencher Boulevard, Unit 608. When you're ready, Ms. Belshaw, could we have the swearing in of the applicant?
Yes. Madam Applicant, for the record, please state your name.
Sure, Eugenia Scaramuzzi.
Do you affirm any evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Evans, could we have your information, please?
Yes, so this is for 608 147 Provencher Boulevard. The property is located in the North St. Boniface neighborhood. It's an apartment style building built in 2007. It's 1,141 square feet. It has 2 bedrooms, 1 full and 1 half bath with shower, central air conditioning, and an open balcony. There is a back lane view. The comparable properties are all in the same complex. There are units 307, 306, 404, and 509, 147 Provencher Boulevard. Their square footages range from 1,145 to 1,416 square feet. They all have 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, central air, and open balconies the same size. Comparables 2 and 3 have the back lane.
Is there any further information that either party wants to provide?
Sorry about that.
Sorry?
Closing. Sorry, the YouTube player was still on.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So she's just shut that now.
Okay, comp 2 and 3 have back lane view, and comp 1 and 4 have the heavy traffic view, the Provencher view. And the comparable sales range from 345,000 to 430,000. The subject property is at 359, and I believe this value should be maintained.
Ms. Applicant, do you have questions of the assessor about this information that she has provided? That would be questions for clarification. We will listen to your evidence shortly, but first we'll just see if there are questions about this information.
For sure. So just 2 questions. The first question is, do you actually separate the views, those that have the view of the Esplanade Bridge and the Forks versus those that have the back lane view, and when you are doing your assessments?
Well, yeah, like there is a back lane view that is being taken into consideration. So that is something that there is a bit of a negative value to that. So that is being taken into consideration for your property being the back lane view.
Okay, and then my other consideration is, do you take into the fact that there's dens, like there's 2 bedrooms, but they're the 1,267 square foot units do have a den?
It's just either, well, I have right now that you have 2 bedrooms. So if it's a den or if it can be used as a bedroom, then we just have it as, whether you use it as a bedroom or a den, it's still listed as 2 bedrooms.
Right. So just for clarification, so the ones that do have 2 bedrooms plus a den are still listed as 2 bedrooms, or would they be listed as 3?
Well, it'd be 2 bedrooms, I believe, and then that would be an extra room. I have you as with all the 2 bedroom units. The comparables all are 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, the 1,267 square foot units actually are 2 bedrooms plus a den. And that really is the biggest difference between the 1,141 or 1,145 square foot units in the building and those that are larger. The 1,267 square foot units all do have a den.
An extra den, yeah. Okay.
Any other questions, Ms. Applicant?
No.
Okay, I'll then turn to the panel members. Ms. Stevens, do you have questions?
No questions, thank you.
Ms. Anderson?
I wonder what the parking is for these units. What type
There
of
is parkade parking. There is a parkade for them.
A covered parkade or an open parkade?
It's covered.
And what about an elevator? Is there an elevator in the building?
Yes.
Okay.
There's 2 elevators.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have noted that there are some negative features associated with these back lane and heavy traffic Can you tell me in each case how much of a reduction that has made to the?
I don't have an exact value, but traffic and back lane are both considered negative. So all of the comparables have a negative. The traffic might be slightly higher than the back lane, but they're relatively similar. I don't have a dollar value.
It would be helpful to know that dollar value. The garage that you referred to, the parking, is that beneath the building or external to the building?
It's beneath, it's underground.
Beneath the building, okay. And were you agreeing with the applicant that the 2 bedrooms that you have used as comparables are actually 2 bedrooms and they also have a den?
I agree that the larger ones would have a den, yes.
Okay.
So I agree with what she's saying. We have them all listed as 2 bedrooms. And the one that is the 307 that is the same size as her is a 2 bedroom, and the value is quite higher than hers also. So the values are in line with, like, the square footage shows that the 2 bedrooms as well as the 2 bedrooms, and there might be an extra den. The values are all showing that she's in line with what they're selling for.
Is there one of these comparables that you think is more comparable to the subject than the other?
I think that like comparable 3 would be the least comparable. It had the comps 1, 2, and 4 have the higher end finishings. Comp 3 has more basic finishings. Comp 4 would be superior. It's quite a bit larger. So I would say between comps 1 and comp 2 would be the most comparable to the subject property. And comp 3 and comp 4 would be the least, because 1 is inferior and 1 would be superior.
Okay, and when you talk about basic finish versus superior finish,
like the granite countertops, those types of things in and the comp 3 unit 404 does not have that.
Okay, so number 4, you're saying.
Well, number 4 is quite a bit larger.
Quite a bit bigger.
And and the value is quite a bit higher. So that would be the least. I didn't put very much weight on that one. There was a lot of sales that were larger than the subject property. So I tried to pick the ones that were closest in size to her.
Those are all my questions.
Thank you.
Ms. Caramucci, could we have your, can we have your evidence, please?
For sure. So I just submitted the comparable sales that I was able to pull that were from 2017 and 2018, as well as one from 2019. From what I understand, this is a valuation point from April 1st, 2018, as close to that date as possible. The reason I'm here is because I purchased the unit last year for $337,500. So when I saw the assessment being $22,000 more than what I purchased it, it kind of flagged it for my attention. And while I respectfully kind of understand the assessment of those 4 comparables, I'd have to respectfully disagree that the odd number units, which are facing Provencher and facing the Esplanade Bridge and that have the view of the Forks, would be equal to those that are facing the back lane empty kind of parking lot. And really, there are garbage kind of containers there. So I did not look at the odd number units, because all of those units that are at the front facing units do all sell for more than the units that are facing the back because of the view. And so in the solds that I provided, there was 3 that I kind of zoned in on. They were all sold in 2018. So unit 204 sold in February of 2018 for $345,000. It is a 1,267 square foot unit. So it does have the additional den, which is $272 a square foot. And that one.
Sorry,
also
just
does-
so I can follow along here, you said that was
Sure.
unit 4, is that what you said?
Sorry, unit 204.
204.
So yeah, 204, it is the sixth one on the list. So that one was the first one to sell in 2018. So at $272 a square foot. And that one did have a 500 square foot terrace because it is on the second floor. So a little bit different. It's a lower floor, but it had the larger terrace. Then there was unit 406, which is the third one from the top. That one sold in July of 2018. This one had 2 parking stalls.
I'll stop you there. Is April 1st, 2018 is the magic cutoff date. That's what's referred to as the reference date. So we can't accept any evidence that would follow that date.
Okay, for sure. So in this one, then, if we're looking before, sorry, my apologies. I thought we were trying to get as close to April 1st, 2018. If we look at those units that sold before 2018, so those would be the ones in 2017. 306, which is the one that the assessor provided, was at $299 per square foot. And I know that she doesn't feel that would be the same, but it is looking at the back of the building. And then in this building, there are only a couple things that make a difference for the unit. So number one, I would say, is the view. If you're odd number, higher value, get the better view. The other thing is the type of balcony. So while they all have a balcony, mine is shared with the neighbor. So there's just a screen in between, whereas other units do have solo balconies, so they're not sharing them with anyone. And then it's the number of storage units or parking spots. So I would sort of, say that 306 is a comparable one, because that one does also share the, I believe that one does also share the balcony. 604, which did sell for $304 a square foot, has an enclosed sunroom. That one sold though in 2019, so I don't think that one's valid. And 402. Unit 402 sold for $395, which is $259 a square foot, and that one is a corner unit. So all of this to say is while I'm happy with the unit I purchased, it is one of the smallest units. It does not have the den. It does not have a solo balcony. It's a shared balcony. It only has the one storage locker and the one parking spot. And I purchased it in 2020 when values have gone up for $337,500. So I'm just respectfully requesting that the valuation be reconsidered, in that we all know, valuations in 2018 were lower, as condos have seen like a bit of an upswing. So based on my calculation of, it should be between 310,000 and 328,000, based on an average square footage of, between at the most 287 square foot, which are all the comparables that were provided by Ms. Evans, excluding the one facing front, because I do think that front view is, it does skew the valuation.
Okay, Ms. Evans, do you have questions?
I don't have questions. The majority of the sales are post-reference, and the ones that are within are sales that I have in my comp sheet. So I believe the sales support the 359 value.
Ms. Stevens, do you have questions? Ms. Stevens?
Yes, sorry, I had muted myself. My apologies. I'm just looking at the, and I realize that many of these comps are post-reference, but the ones that aren't, if you look at them, they are all higher than what you're requesting.
But they are larger units with an additional bedroom or office space. So that does sort of shift even who is looking for it, right? In terms of, couple working from home versus a single person, which affects sort of that price point. The other thing
No, go ahead if you had something else you wanted to add.
just when I do the math, even on Miss Evans' comparables, if I do the average of comp 2, 3, and 4, it's still below what I'm assessed at. The only comp that is above is comp 1, which again is the one that has the front facing view. So I guess, I would have loved to buy a front facing view, but they are, at a minimum $50,000 higher, even what they're listed at.
Okay, and I just have one other question. Thank you for that. Was this an arm's length purchase when you purchased it?
No, I saw the unit. I was present in the unit. I don't understand what you mean by.
Oh, sorry. What I mean is, you did not know the seller when you purchased? No. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Ms. Anderson, questions?
My question is relating to the parking spots that you mentioned. So the units, do they come with parking? And if so, how many parking spots?
Yeah, most units come with one parking spot. The unit 406, so that was the one that sold. It sold in, I believe, July of 2018, so outside the period. That one did have 2 parking stalls.
Okay, thank you. And regarding storage, the units all come with storage outside of the unit? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, so there are storage lockers on the second floor, but again, those were purchased, I guess, when the building was built. So currently, for example, there is a unit on the 7th floor, so 707 is currently for sale. That one does not have a storage unit. So the owner, they did not purchase a storage unit with their unit when the building was built, and so that is, sometimes that one is a little. Something that is included with the unit. All of the units, though, on this sheet did have the one storage locker included. If you had a second, those are pretty valuable in small spaces, so it would increase the price.
And your unit had a storage unit?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, thank you. Those are all of my questions.
First, I'll go back to the assessor. That's relative to this parking issue and the storage. Are the parking stalls and the storage lockers part of the described units, and therefore the assessment involves the value of those?
Yes, we have that listed in our records, yes.
As
Parking spot and a storage locker.
So they are not separate units in the condo plan?
No.
Okay, all right. And neither are they common space. They are attributed to each unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ms. Applicant, you are on the 6th floor, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is your view? Yes, there's a lane down below you. Is your view impeded by buildings in front of you?
There's the actual empty parking lot that is directly kind of behind the building, and that's primarily the view. And then there are some residential houses.
Okay. So, but if you look straight out, you have a long view. You're not looking into a building that is across the lane from you.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Okay, I think those are all my questions. Any need to summarize by either party?
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your evidence. We will deliberate on this at the end of our meeting. We will come up with an order which will be sent out to you by registered mail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Our next one Do we have a applicant?
Yep,
Ready?
he just will need to unmute so we can
Okay.
swear him in.
Next on the docket is 1950 Henderson Highway.
Right, and so Mr. Applicant, for the record, can you please state your name?
Robert Milloy.
Do you affirm any evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So this one is Unit 304. Ms. Evans, could we have your evidence, please?
Yes. This property is located, it's 304 1950 Henderson Highway. It's located in the Valhalla neighborhood. It's an apartment style condo built in 2007. It's 1,411 square feet. It has 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath and 1 half bath with a shower, central air conditioning and an open balcony. The comparable properties are 404 and 301 1950 Henderson, the same complex. And then comps 3 and 4 are 403 and 504 1954 Henderson Highway, which is right behind, directly behind the subject complex. The square footages range from 1,253 to 1,479 square feet. They all have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, central air conditioning, and open balconies. And there is a heavy traffic view for comp number 2, the Henderson Highway view. And there is a river view for comp 4, 504 1954 Henderson Highway. The comparable sales prices range from $320,000 to $369,900, and I feel that the subject property is at $323,000, and I feel this value should be maintained.
Is it my turn?
Do you have questions for the assessor about this information she has presented?
Well, I'm looking at the comps for both properties in 1950 Henderson Highway, and they're in 2016, which is 5 years ago. Now, a lot changes in 5 years, price-wise and market-wise. We purchased our condo last year for $280,000.
Sir, I'll stop you there for a second. We don't want to hear about purchase prices that follow the reference date, nor do we want to hear about comparable sales that follow the reference date. We're compelled by the legislation and the backup by courts saying that we are not to look at any economic matters that follow the reference date. So it's as if you had to put yourself in the shoes of an imaginary buyer on April 1st. What would that person know? That person wouldn't know anything following April 1st. It would only be information prior to that date.
Well, given that criteria, when I'm looking at actual dates and actual sale prices, I don't stand a chance. So go ahead and keep overtaxing me.
Do you have any other questions for the assessor about her information?
No, I don't think that this system is fair when you can't use actual dates and actual sales.
Well, you
on
can.
something.
You see, the taxes, sir, that you wind up paying are based on the assessments, of course. And those assessments are all pegged to April 1st, 2018. So everybody's in the same boat. It is all as if each property was being purchased on April 1st, 2018. What would that value be? So we have to look at information that leads up to that, and we cannot look at information afterwards. And that's what the courts have said is fair and just.
Well, I don't think it's fair and just. Because we're talking, just forget it.
Ms. Stevens, do you have any questions for the assessor?
The subject property, are you aware of what kind of view the subject property has?
The subject property and comp 1 both have like a southwest view, like they can, or sorry, yeah, a southwest view, they can kind of see the river, but it's not directly on the river,
Not a
but
full
there
river.
is a little bit of that view. So they're like the comp 2, which has the traffic view, like they would have a slightly better view than that property, but
Okay.
we don't have them as having a river view, but they have like the southwest type view.
Yeah, so yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In looking at the Google shot you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And to the best of your knowledge, the subject property and comp 1 are similar units.
Yes,
Yeah,
similar.
okay, thank you, that's all I had.
Ms. Anderson, do you have questions?
No questions.
Okay, and I also have no questions. Mr. Applicant, do you have any other information that you wanted to provide us?
No, the whole system is flawed, so it
Okay.
doesn't matter what they.
Well, thank you very much. We will deliberate at the end of this meeting and we will produce an order. And you will receive that by registered mail as soon as possible. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. The next item on our docket is 1275 Troy Avenue, Unit 11.
Right, so Mr. Applicant, I see you're joined our meeting, but we'll need to have you turn your camera and your microphone on, please.
Yes, if you just give me just a few seconds.
Yep.
Can you please look at the door? After Andrea.
Sorry, Mr. Adley, if you're having trouble turning on your camera.
No, it's okay. Can you wait for me outside? Give me a few minutes. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready right now.
Do you have a camera, Mr. Adley?
I do, yeah.
Perfect. There we see you now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Just
Good
for
morning.
the record, would you please state your name?
My name Adel Adley Helmi Abu Hamra.
And do you affirm any evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Evans, could you provide us with your information, please?
Yes. Case for 1275 Troy Avenue. The property is located in the Minarski neighborhood. It's a garden style condo built in 2013. It's 900 square feet. It has 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath and 1 half bath. The bedrooms and the full bath are in the lower level. The central air conditioning and in-suite laundry and has an open deck. The comparable properties are all in the same complex. It's 7-1275 Troy, 5-1225 Troy, and 5-1285 Troy, and 9-1265 Troy. Unit 7 is in the same building as the subject property and was built in 2013 as well. The other comparables were built in 1957 with an effective age of 2010 as they were renovated. They are all 900 square feet and they all have the bedrooms and bathroom in the basement as well. And they all have central air conditioning and an open deck. The subject property, the comparable properties price range from $173 to $179.9, and the subject property is at $175. And I feel that this value should be maintained.
All right. Mr. Applicant, do you have questions of the assessor about this information that she just provided to us?
No.
All right. Ms. Stevens, do you have questions?
So just a clarification. So you said there's a big age span between the some of those comps there in terms of the age of the building. Yeah. So you said that the 57 ones have been renovated?
Yeah, so this complex, like this whole complex has roughly 20, they have 20 separate buildings, and some of them were existing. And then between 2013 and 2016, there was a few more buildings built in there. So it's all a large condo complex, and they're all in similar shape, like looking at them, but some are just older builds and some were built more recent.
Yeah. I see your effective year built is 2010 for the older units. So. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Ms. Anderson, questions?
So the buildings in the complex, they all are the same. How many floors are they? Like they're
3-story buildings.
Pardon?
3 stories. Each building is 3 stories.
Okay. And the most comparable comparison, would it be number 1 then, because it's in the same building?
Yes, that would be the most comparable. It's in the exact same building and the same year built. But yes, they are all comparable in their size and their layout. All of the comparables are.
Okay, so the ones that have been remodeled in 2010, they put in the same finishing into those buildings as are in the
they are all relatively similar. I mean, there could be some that have maybe a little bit more, but these comparables are all, I would say, similar to the subject property.
Okay, thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Let me just preface my question about the effective age by giving the applicant a little information. Effective age here means if some changes were made to the property, it would be then as if it had been built in 2010 rather than back in 1957. So my question though to the assessor is, can you describe what those improvements were to the units that brought the effective age up to 2010, which is relatively close to when the age of the newer units was built?
Yeah, like back in around the time when these were built, they were all converted to condos. So it was just to build them and make them into these the garden style condo complex where they're each you walk up into your own unit. So there's two on the first and lower level is a unit, and then the second and third floors are units, and they've just made all of these buildings the same.
Are you saying that whether it's on the first, second, or third floor, they have external entrance?
They're on the first, like one unit would be on the first and the lower level, and then another unit would be on the second and third. They're each two floors.
Each is a 2-level unit?
Yes.
I see, okay.
And so his unit is what would be on the main floor, and then the lower level is where all the bedrooms are. And so those are the comparables I chose to use, ones that are all the main level and lower level units.
Okay.
And yes, they all have their own entrance.
Okay, they all have their own exterior entrance. Then there is also a common hall and entrance from that common hall in the middle of the building?
No, there's just exterior entrances.
Only exterior entrance?
Yes.
Okay. Floor plans are also always helpful, so if you don't mind keeping that in mind.
Sure.
So you're saying that the most comparable one would be the one that is in the same building, and
yes.
It also, as you just said, is one of the lower set units.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's my questions. Mr. Applicant, could we have your information, please?
Okay, thank you everyone for the time and for the honest review. The building, it's not only the structure from the outside, that's the way I see it, and the reason I asked for to be reassessed. Is also is the condition is from inside and also the appliances. Like we all know, if we're gonna buy a home that it's finished, it's gonna be different than it's not finished, and also the appliances. So the reason for that price is because the appliances there, it was like maybe 1,500, and you know that increased the value of the apartment. So all the apartment was finished, and it was when it first sold, and also have the good quality appliances. So the average may be 15,000-20,000 for those appliances. When I got the apartment, or when I did look at it, the appliance was worth between 10 and 1,500, not in opposite to 10 and 15,000. So that's why was the value of this unit especially was lower than the comparable one. And also the floor and the carpet, it's obvious to me because when I bought this, I looked at the other apartment as well. So I didn't get that price because I'm not smart, or the seller he was giving it away. It was that worth value for that apartment. So all this unit sold or been in the market with a good condition of appliances. That's first. Also the floor. That unit, when it was that building, when it was renovated, because I think there was a defection. The system is defective. The sub pump system, and usually so often the plumbing issue, which is next to the maintenance room, affected the floor and the hardwood floor in this apartment. So all this lowered the value. And when I first get there, when I tried to ask the neighbor, they told me that there was an issue with this apartment. So that was a big factor. Nobody wanted to pay for it. The price, even I wanted to pay for it because the reputation of this unit or that building. It happened like 2 times since I was there so far. And the kitchen also, the finish of the kitchen, it's not that good condition that the other apartment have. So I think what I got it was a fair value for that apartment. And it's like the way I see it, it's like when you buy a car, the car looks all the same. But if there is a dent in the car, that affects the price on the car. That's the way I see it. So the fair value of the tax should be the fair value of the market that I bought it with. But from the outside, or I agree with the assessor, it might look that it's the same like the other unit. But those are the factors. Just I want to bring attention to the honor committee. And if there is any question, I just finished what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Ms. Evans, do you have questions for the
So you have you done any work to the property since what have you done to it?
No, I didn't do anything yet, and unfortunately, I didn't use it, and I wanted to sell it again, but the COVID and stuff, and I was busy at work, and family was out from the country, and also because it needs some work to be done, and I wasn't able to during the COVID. Like again, something also I remembered here. The heat is a pump, and this pump it fails every year, and we have to maintain it by especially before the winter. and it cost like last time I paid $400 for it because the whole thing need to be changed and they assess the price for it $25,000. It's a bump heat for this unit. And also the washroom, the mirror is cracked. It's a big mirror. And I know how it was that even the wall for the ceramic cover for the wall. There was a big damage for some reason for this unit, for whoever owned it before. And I couldn't understand why this damage is done. But I accept it, and because for that price. But if it was offered to me like same price like the other one, definitely I won't look at it. So I said, okay, there is some damage I can take, but I pay that much. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy a car, same model, same kilometer, same everything, but it have a dent from outside. It won't affect me. It's a car that take me to work. But at the same time, if I want to sell it, I won't get the same price like the one that it doesn't have a dent. So that's the way I see it. And I still think that is a fair price for this apartment. And it should be the fair tax assessment should be on that price.
Is this rented out?
No, it's closed since then because I didn't use it and I didn't rent it yet. That was the plan. Even I use it or rent it from the corporation, but it didn't happen. I didn't stay in it, unfortunately, and I pay tax like now since I got it for 2 years, and I pay $300 every month for that maintenance, and never been used. I think also because the heat, the sub pump condition in it during the winter.
Okay, thank you.
Stevens, questions?
Yes. So, when did you purchase the property?
That's going to be the second time I pay tax on it. The third year.
So 2018, 19?
No, what is it? So I paid last year tax, and I'm going to pay this year, and the lawyer paid the third year when I first got it.
Maybe we can clarify this with the assessor. Sorry to jump.
Yeah. Do you have this?
There was a sale October 2019.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. So you're saying that I just want to clarify everything that I heard. So it has older appliances. There's a problem with the flooring because now you talked about the sump pump. Has there been flooding in the unit then, or?
I think that might be the only reason because the floor damaged that way and it's popping up. And it's well known for the neighbor area that this unit has a problem with it. Even I tried to rent it, and the management because I wanted to rent it on my own, they told him, no, there is a problem with this unit. So the tenant didn't even want to rent it. And then I had to leave the country. That's why it wasn't rent all this time.
Okay. And you also said there was a problem with the heating in the unit as well?
Yes, the pump, geothermal pump, it needs maintenance every year until eventually have to be changed. And last time they told me that's about $25,000.
Okay, but you haven't done that yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Henderson?
So just to clarify, the apartment has been unoccupied since you purchased it in 2019. Nobody has lived in it.
No, I never used it, and nobody or rent it, or nobody used it. It's closed, unfortunately, all this time, and I pay every month $300 for it. And when I talked to my agent, if I can sell it again, even the same price, he said, no, you need to fix that, all the stuff. And I didn't do anything with it yet.
In order to sell it or to rent it? Is that?
In order, yeah, to rent it, yeah.
To rent it, the condo board indicated you'd have to remediate the problems to rent
No,
it?
that's my agent who helped me to buy the property or rent the property.
Okay, your real estate agent.
Yes.
Okay. You also mentioned the condition of the floor, that it's popping in places.
Yeah.
Do you have an estimate of the cost?
The hardwood and also the kitchen and the ceiling of the kitchen too. It's a drop ceiling where is the counter of the kitchen, and that's sagging too. And the kitchen doors and the people lived in it before they damaged it quite a bit, and that's why was the price for it. So I wasn't smart or lucky to buy it cheap. I know it's cheaper than the other one, and from the other one, the same size, same look, everything. But definitely it's a different. It was for sale for a long time. And I said, okay, that's going to be the fair value for that condition. And but the tax should be assessed accordingly too.
So if I can ask, what are you asking of us? What assessment do you think is fair for this property? What's the value?
So when you buy a home, you don't buy it just from the outside. It's from the inside. How is the finish? What the quality of the finish and the appliances and everything, and that's severely affect the price. We all know that. So I know that the assessor didn't have a chance to have a look from the inside, but I think if she asked it in the neighbor, she will know very well that this unit and this apartment, it have an issue with the structure of it. And I was being told before I buy it, and everyone, even the people who are going to come and rent, they know that. So that's going to affect on the price too, the reputation, especially for this corner. It has... I heard it was in the court because the builder... they took the builder to the court. I think they had to refix something in the structure. So the reputation of the building, even if it's exactly the same thing and the appliances, the reputation, it have a big value in it. If it have the same appliances, regardless of my argument about the appliance and condition from the inside, is there a reputation of exactly this unit affect the price? And for me, I was okay. I didn't think about it too much, but I realized how big deal is it when people came to rent it. So they asked me, I don't know how they know it. He just rent, but maybe, I asked it, how do you know about that? I thought he's from a different area, but it looks like he's from around, and he go check other place. I tried to offer very low rent for it to get someone to stay in it. And I thought they're going to be happy because they are just rental, not owner. But they told me, what is the issue in here? Is it the plumbing or what? So I gave up.
I think we have sufficient information of what you're describing. Ms. Anderson, do you have other questions?
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, I'll actually turn to the assessor. The applicant has described condition and matters with respect to depreciation. Do you have any information to counter what he has said? Have you inspected the property?
No, I have not. I've seen it pictures online, but no, I haven't done no inspection.
Okay. What does your database say about what the quality is of the unit?
I'm sorry?
The quality of the unit? What is the quality of the condition?
They're all in average condition.
They're all average?
Yes.
Okay. So
if I can say something, one last thing, I want to ask the assessor, please, if you don't mind, if she knows about that, the issue with the builder and the problem with that unit or that building. Do you have any information?
I don't have any information about that specific building, no. Unfortunately,
do you know it was there was a court issue for this unit with the builder?
Sorry?
Are you aware that there was an issue in the court with the builder?
With this builder? No, I don't have that information. So that's something I can look up.
Yeah, for this unit, for they needed to be renovated.
For this specific unit, or you're saying the building?
Like those two units, I think every 2 units together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the building. Yeah, the whole building has an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, even with the geothermal structure in it too.
Okay, I don't have information on that. No, I'm going to make a note of that though. So for $1,275 Troy, you're saying the whole building?
Yes, the whole building, the geothermal and structure issue in it. I'm not sure about the details.
Okay.
But it's
No,
very
I
well
don't-
known. It was in the court for that issue.
Okay.
All right. I don't have any further questions, so that will conclude this hearing on this part of the docket. Thank you very much for appearing, Mr. Applicant. Thank you for your information. We will deliberate at the end of this meeting, come up with a decision, and you will receive an order from the Board of Revision in the mail as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. And whatever is the order, I appreciate it. And thank you very much because I really touched your concern and the question, and you really wanted to get the truth and fact in this. I felt you're sincere in dealing with this matter. Thank you again, everybody. I appreciate your time, and you have a good day.
Oh, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So our next applicant is here in the room. Do you
Okay.
wanna-
We'll take a 5-minute break. Okay, the next item on our docket is 161 Cathedral Avenue, Unit 15. Could we have the swearing in of the applicant, please?
Mr. Applicant, for the record, please state your name.
Chris Forgate?
And do you affirm the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Evans, could we have your evidence when you're ready?
Yes, so this is for 15161 Cathedral Avenue. The property is located in the Luxton neighborhood. It's an apartment style condo, built in 1914 with effective age of 1954. It's 548 square feet. It is a 1-bedroom and it has 1 full bathroom. There is a back lane view. The comparable properties are all in the same complex, units 7, 9, 14, and 8. Their square footages range from 533 square feet to 758. And their comparable one is a 1-bedroom and the rest of the comparables are 2 bedrooms. They all have a full bathroom. Comparable one has the back lane view, and comparables 2, 3, and 4 have the low traffic view. All the comparables are maintained and in similar condition to the subject property. The most weight is given to comp 1 as it is a 1-bedroom like the subject property. The comparables range from 100,000 to 125,000, and the subject property is at 102. And I feel this value should be maintained.
Mr. Forgate, do you have questions of the assessor about this information?
Yes, there's a list of 4 comparables, but there's also another suite which is not on the list that could be used as a comparable for this. But I don't know if we're allowed to do that because
you could ask your questions about that and why it's not here if you wish.
Okay, because the suite I would like to compare it to would be 161 Cathedral, and it's not there. So I'd like to provide that information to you.
Let's first of all get her response as to why.
Number 2, when was the sale? What date was the sale?
I don't have that information.
It could be post-referenced, and that would be why I wouldn't have used it.
All right. Well, that's not going to get us very far then. We don't know. Do you have other questions of the assessor?
Well, I just feel like the suite I have is in the tier with the smallest square footage. So I think it's a bit overvalued what it's listed at. So I'm just trying to perhaps barter
is
a lower.
Suite 2 a 1-bedroom?
I only have a 1-bedroom, yeah.
So if that was it within our reference period, I would have put that on there. So it probably is it's not within our reference period. The only one in our reference period was Suite 7. That's a 1-bedroom.
Okay, so all the apartments don't get referenced at the same year. They kind of stagger.
Yeah, we have to look at sales prior to April 1st, 2018.
Okay. Right. So I'm here to discuss about the.
But first of all, in the process, you're at the point where you can ask her questions to clarify what she has presented here. You will have an opportunity to give your information shortly. But we first of all need to make sure that we're all clear on what it is that she has presented. So do you have any other questions about her data?
Okay. Yes. Then how do you figure out the sale price of the property then? Can you guys, do you guys have access to to that information?
Yes, like all the comparables 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all sales that took place within our reference period for the 2022 value. And so based on sales, that's how we come up with our assessment value for properties.
Okay, then for 161 Cathedral, it is not in the reference date?
No, it wouldn't, no. I didn't see that sale.
Do you know when it would be though?
If it's after April 1st, 2018, then it would be looked at for the following assessment. So we're doing a reassessment in 2023.
Okay, Can you find out if there's an exact date
Of what?
of that sale of that property? Because we're talking about after the reference date, right?
Well, I can't discuss sales that take place after April 1st, 2018. We're looking at sales that took place within our reference period for the 2022 assessment.
Okay.
Do you have other questions of the assessor?
No, not this moment.
Ms. Stevens, do you have questions?
No, I no questions. Thank you.
Ms. Anderson?
No, I have no questions.
And I have no questions either. So, Mr. Forcade, what information is it that you can provide us that you would like us to take into account?
I purchased the property at $94,000 at the height of the market in spring of this year.
Okay, we can't listen to that. That's post-reference.
That's post-reference.
That's post-reference date. It's all of the assessments that are being
done
used
prior to 2018.
are done as if the property had been sold April 1st, 2018. The legislation and the courts say we cannot look to anything after that date. We must have the mindset of a buyer on April 1st. Of course, the buyer doesn't know what the future is.
Right, okay. But if you look at condo prices from 2018 to today, it hasn't diminished.
That's again something we can't look at.
Okay. But then, so you're saying that in 2018, there's been a inflation in prices?
No, I'm not saying anything other than the assessments are pegged at April 1st, and we must not listen to economic information that follows April 1st, 2018.
Okay. So how do we prove that the assessment is just and trustworthy?
Ms. Evans, can I have you answer that question?
Well, the assessment is based on sales that took place within our reference period. So those sales are how we come up with it. So those sales are what you would look at to see whether they fall in line or not. And in my opinion, your assessment falls in line with the sales in our reference period.
Perhaps if you could be a little bit more forthcoming, Ms. Evans, I'll help Mr. Forcade here a little bit. Do you get all sales? How do you get those sales? How are they analyzed? And how do you test that analysis to make sure that it is proper?
So our sales, we get sales from land titles, and they give us the sales price, the sales date, and then we can also look online and see the sales and see the properties if they've been sold on MLS. Not every sale is sold on MLS, but we look at that and verify whether the information is accurate, what we have on file is accurate, and we can update our information and change it if it's not accurate based on when a sale takes place, based on whether there's permits taken out, just different information. So we try to keep updated with the information as we get it. And all these sales are in your specific building, so they are very comparable because they're sales that took place in the actual. We try to keep condo sales in the same complex as the subject property.
To add to that, I don't think the sale prices from any of the units are represented fairly in what you've assessed them at.
What the comparables are?
Right. So
those are sales. Those are what sales. Those aren't what we've assessed. Those are what the sales were. Like the comparable properties, all the values are what they sold for, not what we're assessing.
Can't look at economic data, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, but these ones that she has used are all before April 1st, 2018.
Okay.
So those are the ones to be used.
Okay. The previous owner of my suite purchased the condo for $60,000 in 2016. So now we are now 2020, 2021, sorry.
Imagine April 1st, 2018.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 2016 versus 2018.
Right. So I don't know how the price of a condo can jump that high to 60 to 100 grand, or 102, sorry.
Do you have any more information about that sale in 2016?
No, not at all.
Do you have any other information to provide us about your condo or about sales?
Well, I don't know if they take into account of the whole entire building, but our current situation with the building is that the fire escape is waiting for the city permit because the previous condo board haven't maintained the building properly or diligently. So now all the tenants and the property owners are suffering because now they don't have a fire escape. So if there is an event of a fire, well, they're out of luck for that because structural engineers deemed it unsafe. So there's that, and the whole exterior of the building has to be redone. So I don't know if in the assessments that a bunch of other of these factors had to be taken into place or looked at. But right now we're picking up from where previous condo board has left us. So we're a bit behind, I'll admit. So there's also that issue. Also, I feel like because you have the list of comparables, we're going back to the comparable, sorry, they're all chosen in different like tiers. So like this moves the margin in the favor of like the more expensive suites than mine. And I feel like it's misrepresented.
All right. Ms. Evans, do you have questions?
I don't have any questions, no.
Ms. Stevens, do you have any questions?
Just one. Can you please explain the condition of your unit when you purchased it?
The unit is in good condition. Everything works. I actually have a tenant living in the unit. So I purchased the property, and the tenant is currently on their lease, and that lease finishes this January.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Ms. Anderson?
So the unit that you purchased, you're renting it to the tenant that was in it, right?
Yeah, so I bought it from the owners. The owners had a current tenant in it, and then I just, how do you call it?
Continued
the lease or whatever. Yeah.
So how much is the monthly rent if you can
The
say?
monthly rent right now is $830.
And you said there's some work that's required to the overall condo building, the fire escape and the exterior.
The envelope, yeah, and the roof was just redone, and but it's mainly the fire escape is the big issue. And I don't know if it's code to have an elevator or access to wheelchairs, but this condominium complex does not have any of this sort. So I don't know if that's a future project that we have to endeavor that we'll have to pay out of our pockets as well. But I'd like more information on that.
Okay. So in regards to the work that needs to be done, have you received estimates, and is there?
Yeah, there was a what's it called, the reserve fund study.
Okay.
And we decided to go ahead with work as of this year because the interest rates are so low that it would be better for us to do it in this year. So that's what we agreed on to do. So.
And the work will come out of the reserve fund. There's sufficient funding. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Is there an estimate for that work to be done?
The estimate is around 100 grand. Yeah.
Okay, that's my only question, so thank you very much for appearing. We will deliberate at the end of this meeting, and then we'll come up with an order that you will receive by registered mail as soon as possible.
Our applicant on item 10 has left the meeting. Can I ask for a short recess?
Certainly. We will recess briefly. All right, so we have no other items that have not been withdrawn, so we are finished. We've heard all the items that have been scheduled, and this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Amanda.